Make yourself comfortable. This will be a long story. Maybe even a bit too emotional in places. It still hurts. I'm 30. My ex-husband is 32. We were together for 10 years, married for 6. We have a 3-year-old daughter. Everything was progressing gradually. Mortgage, car, child, careers. We rarely argued. We're always together. We never had silent days, even if one of us was away. We filled each other's lives completely, and it never felt suffocating, at least not to me, and it seemed like it didn't to him either. We shared the same values, both wanted a family, a cozy home, 2 to 3 kids, we even looked alike. After our daughter was born, we always tried to spend time together as a family, trips, walks, everything. Though now I realize maybe it was only important to me, and he just silently tagged along. I wanted my daughter to grow up feeling loved, safe, and surrounded by both parents. That fall, we lived apart for 3 months. My daughter and I stayed home while he worked in another city. We were preparing to move to him. In November, we moved. Got our daughter into kindergarten. She adapted quickly. 3 weeks later, the end began. It started with, "We're like brother and sister now. Remember how it used to be? Something needs to change." And 2 days later, "I can't live with you anymore. We need a break. You two should leave." Of course, he had no plans to change anything. Anyone who's been through this knows what was really going on. "I love you like family. You're the mother of our child. You're part of my memories." All the classic cheater BS came pouring down. This was a week before New Year's. I begged him to at least attend our daughter's holiday show at kindergarten. He refused. "Just leave," he said. He dumped all the blame on me, said I was unloving, unsupportive. I moved cities for him, but sure, negative, unattractive. Just tore me apart. Imagine, we were hand in hand for 10 years, made promises of growing old together, planned our second child. And then, suddenly, the ground disappears beneath your feet. I couldn't eat, sleep, or work. I worked remotely and lost clients worth over $100K in that period, including one that made up 25% of my income. I cried, begged for another chance, and he coldly replied, "I don't want it anymore." He was distant, aggressive, almost joyful when he kicked us out. So I packed our things and left with my daughter. We agreed on a pause to think things through, that we wouldn't date anyone else and would stay legally married while figuring it out. Around that time, my beloved grandmother had a stroke. So yeah, I got support during a major move, a family crisis, and after years of helping him build his career. What a thank you. No point in describing the rest in detail. He had a few back-and-forth episodes where he seemed to be reconsidering. We agreed he'd go to a course in January, February, and by then, everything would be clear. I kept trying to restore communication, made him surprises, cleaned and cooked when he came home. I thought I was the problem and needed to change. I read books on relationships, therapy articles, searched everywhere for answers. I loved him, and for my daughter's sake, I thought we had to at least try. If it didn't work, fine, we'd separate. But the real reason was already out there, plain to see. In early March, he came back and said he wanted a divorce, that I hadn't changed, that I was still negative, emotionless, and yet still slept next to me, hugged me. We're family, you know? I cried, begged, told him I still loved him, reminded him of our daughter and our family. But I didn't stand in his way. If he wanted out, fine. A month ago, I found out he had a mistress. And no, not in the new city. It was someone from his old job. He'd started talking to her while I was home alone with our daughter, waiting to move. Maybe even earlier. I don't even want to know the dirty details anymore. And honestly, if she were some kind of stunner, fine. But she's 6 years older than me and looks worse than most of my 40-year-old friends. 3 kids, divorced, they look like mother and son. They had photos from his January trip, from the hotel room I paid for, by the way. While I was home working on our marriage, he was sleeping with her. Then he came home to us like nothing happened. When I found out, I wanted to vomit. At first, I didn't want to ask anything, but eventually I cracked and asked, why? How? And he gave me some insane answer. Long story short, we basically broke up in December. We weren't together since August. We didn't agree to stay married. I didn't tell you about the divorce sooner because I didn't want to upset you. I thought your surprises were just your way of coping. And why are you so attached to these 10 years? They happened, so what? His conclusion, I didn't cheat on you. I didn't betray you. So now I think, maybe I missed something at the registry office. Maybe it was all just a formality, not a real marriage. Maybe we had an open relationship and I just didn't know. He said, I never felt like a man around you. Well, maybe that was your job, to be a man? I never asked to carry everything on my shoulders. But now, sure, he's a man. He left his family, throws aggression my way, threatens me, makes me unstable, all while our daughter watches. I guess that makes him feel powerful. If you stopped loving me, fine, divorce me. But why betray me like this? Betray the woman you chose, the mother of your child? That takes courage, and he doesn't have it. He wouldn't have left if she hadn't shown up. He would have just sat there while the marriage crumbled, ignoring my cries for help, until someone else came along, and then he would have left anyway. It's just the kind of person he is. So that's it. That's the end of the story. What followed was more aggression from him, threats to sue me over assets if I filed for child support, said it would ruin his career, should have thought with his brain, not something else. He sends money for our daughter, but that's it. No real parenting. He calls her twice a week. When he visits, it's only after he's enjoyed life with his new woman. Our daughter is no priority to him. She cries, begs him to stay, asks him to tuck her in. He never has time. She clings to his leg as he leaves. He's in a rush to go back to his girlfriend. I noticed his coldness toward her back in November. He used to be a decent father, played with her at night. She loved him deeply. Now he pushes for her to meet his girlfriend. Why bring another woman into a child's life? Our daughter asks, why doesn't Daddy live with us? Why doesn't he kiss Mommy? And he doesn't care. Says, she's old enough, she'll be fine. Let her know the truth. But he's never told her directly, always just says, I'm at work. One day, she was crying as he left. I cried too. It was unbearable. She saw my tears and said, don't cry, Mommy. We'll find a new daddy, one who'll tuck me in and take me to daycare. I'll never understand how someone can abandon their child, miss her growing up. Where's the responsibility for the life you helped create? I'd felt something was wrong even a couple years ago. Everything felt routine. I told him back then, we're like brother and sister, but he was fine with it. I even suggested therapy, psychologist, sexologist. He said, if you want, we can go. But I dropped it. Thought, if he's fine, maybe I should be too. I tolerated too much. There was no abuse, no drinking, no violence. He earned money. I thought that was enough. But I never felt safe. He didn't stand up for me when it mattered. After sex, I'd lie there crying, feeling unheard, unseen. No dates, no surprises, no flowers, no compliments. Never a thank you. I started working again when our daughter was just a year old. I handled all the sick days so he could focus on his career. And now, I don't even get a thank you, just complaints that I get too much in child support. Ridiculous. But I've drawn my conclusions. The rose-colored glasses are off. I no longer blame myself. There's no love left, just disgust, resentment, and disappointment. He threw away all our years together. like he threw away our family photo album. People say you should maintain a good relationship for the child. But how? I look at him and see filth. He's nothing to me now. I knew he had a weak character, but I didn't know he was such a coward. He never lifted a finger for his daughter, only thought about himself. But me, I'll be happy. For her. That's what she needs. She'll grow up and figure it all out on her own. My grandmother passed away on May 25. What a year this has been. Maybe that's enough for now? She loved my ex like her own grandson. We lived with her for 2 years before buying our place. She often helped with our daughter. Do you think he visited her after her stroke? Nope. Knowing how close we were, did he support me? Ask how I was doing? Nope. Fine. We're strangers now. Strangers linked by a massive mistake. It was hell. I had to piece myself back together. I faced the fear of raising a child alone and overcame it. The fear of never finding love again overcame that too. The pain of my daughter growing up without her dad, I'm healing. The man I married is gone, and I've accepted it. But our family is gone. And I don't know why I should build a new one if someone can betray you that easily, that cruelly. And how do you spot someone like that early on? I was blind for 10 years. But hey, be happy for me. I'm almost okay now. My life is so much brighter since this happened. I took up dancing, stretching, singing. I go out, meet new people. I do all this alone with my daughter. I manage more than I ever did while married. I've remembered my worth. I've reclaimed myself.